Writing instructions. In this video, we will be learning about instructions, what they are, and how to write instructions. So, what are instructions? Instructions are written for someone who needs to know how to do something or make something. For example, here is a recipe book or a cookbook. A recipe book has lots of instructions inside it, explaining how to make lots of delicious and tasty meals. If you are playing a game for the first time, you might need to read the instructions on the screen to tell you how to play the game. If a parent has brought some new furniture, they might need to read the instructions to learn how to put it together. Instructions can help to keep us safe. So, how do we begin to write instructions? Well, we need a title. The title should tell the reader what the instructions are about. And then, when we begin to write our instructions, the first thing we should do is make a list of the things you will need. And then we begin the steps of our instructions. Now, something very important when writing instructions. Instructions should always be in a sequence. A sequence means in order or steps. When we are writing instructions, we can use numbers to sequence the instructions or to put them in order, or we could use letters, or we could use words like first, then, next, after that, finally. So here are 3 different ways of sequencing or putting your instructions into order. You can use numbers, or letters, or words. Which one do you think you would prefer to write? Would you prefer to write numbers, or letters, or words? Now, before writing anything, whether it's instructions or a story or any kind of writing, always remember your handwriting rules. A capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. Well-formed letters. If they are tall and ascending letters, make sure they look tall. If they are descending letters, make sure they are descending. And if they are regular, normal sized letters, make sure they all look the same size. Leave finger spaces between each word. Use the correct punctuation at the end of the sentence, such as a full stop. And always make sure your handwriting is neat and tidy. So, we are going to begin to write some instructions for this. Can you read the title? How to wash your hands properly. So the first thing we are going to write is the things you will need. Now, to wash your hands properly, you will need a tap, water, soap, your hands, of course, and a towel. These are the things you will need to wash your hands properly. And then we are going to begin with the first step. First, turn on the tap and wet your hands. Then, put some soap onto your hands and rub together. Next, wash the soap off of your hands. Finally, use a towel to dry your hands. So here are some instructions for how to wash your hands properly. What did we do in the beginning? We wrote about the things you will need: tap, water, soap, your hands, towel. And then we began to write in sequence or in order the steps. We said this: first, turn on the tap and wet your hands. Then, put some soap onto your hands and rub together. Next, wash the soap off of your hands. Finally, use a towel to dry your hands. On this page, we are going to write instructions for how to make a chocolate milkshake. So the first thing we do is write about the things you will need. You will need 250 milliliters of milk. You will also need 2 scoops of chocolate ice cream. Toppings, if you like toppings. A blender, a tall glass, a straw. So here are the things you will need if you would like to make a chocolate milkshake. Now, this time we are going to use numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to sequence our instructions. Number 1. Put the milk and ice cream into a blender. 2. Use the blender to mix until smooth. 3. Serve in a tall glass with a straw. 4. Add your favorite toppings. Toppings could be some whipped cream. Some people like to put whipped cream on their chocolate milkshake. Some people like to put sprinkles on their chocolate milkshake. And 5, enjoy. On this page, we will write instructions for how to make hot chocolate. So what do we begin with? We write a list of the things you will need. To make hot chocolate, you will need milk, 3 tablespoons of hot chocolate powder. Look closely here, you can see TSP. TSP, that means tablespoons. What else will we need? Marshmallows, a mug, a microwave. So those are the things you will need to make hot chocolate. Now let's begin to write the instructions. This time we will sequence them by writing first, then, next, finally. So let's begin. First, fill your mug with milk. Then, heat the milk in the microwave for 3 minutes. Next, stir 3 tablespoons of chocolate powder. Finally, add marshmallows. On this page, we will write instructions for how to make a jam sandwich. To make a jam sandwich, you will need 2 slices of bread, butter, jam, and a knife. So this time, when we write our instructions, we will use letters to sequence the instructions. So let's begin to write. Step A. Spread some butter onto 1 slice of bread. Step B. Spread some jam onto the other slice of bread. Step C. Place the other slice on top. So you can see the instructions for how to make a jam sandwich are quite short, aren't they? We only used 3 instructions, A, B, and C. On this page, we will write instructions for how to brush your teeth. So what do we do first? We write a list of the things you will need. To brush your teeth, you will need a toothbrush, toothpaste, water. Now this time, we will use numbers to order or sequence our instructions. Step 1. Turn on the tap. Step 2. Put some toothpaste on your toothbrush. Step 3. Start brushing your back teeth. Step 4. Brush your front teeth. Step 5. Brush your lower teeth. And step 6. Rinse your mouth out with water. On this page, we will write instructions for how to plant a seed. So the first thing we do is write a list of the things you will need. To plant a seed, you will need a plant pot, soil, a seed, watering can. Okay, in these instructions, I have chosen to write the words for our sequence. So, first, fill the pots almost to the top with soil. Then, put the seed into the soil. Push it down a little with your finger. Then, wash your hands. Next, water the seed using the watering can. Finally, put the pots in sunlight. So, let's just take a look at that one more time. To plant a seed, you will need a plant pot, soil, a seed, and a watering can. And we chose this time to write the words for our sequence first, then, next, finally. And our instructions were: first, fill the pot almost to the top with soil. Then, put the seed into the soil, push it down a little with your finger, then wash your hands. Next, water the seed using the watering can. Finally, put the pot in sunlight. After writing your instructions, use this checklist to make sure that you haven't forgotten to write anything. Make sure that you made a list of the things you will need. If you did it, you can tick it off the list. Make sure that you used numbers or maybe letters or words like first, then, next, after that, and finally. If you used one of these, you can tick it off your list. Make sure you use short and clear sentences and your writing is as neat as possible. If you did that, you can tick it off the list. Check your writing and make sure you used a capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. If you did, you can tick it off the list. Make sure you left finger spaces between the words. If you did, tick it off the list. And make sure you use the correct punctuation, like a full stop at the end of each sentence. If you are using words like first, then, next, after that, finally, use a comma after each of these words. Okay, and there we have it. Why don't you try and write some instructions? You could write instructions for how to make a pizza, or maybe how to make a smoothie. You could even write instructions for how to draw a flower, how to write a postcard, how to be a good friend. There are many different types of instructions that you could practice writing. You could practice writing some of the instructions in this video.